The transfer world is erupting with storylines that feel almost too wild to be true, and yet each day brings another seismic twist that reshapes the landscape of European football. As Barcelona fights to hold onto a revitalized Marcus Rashford, Paris Saint-Germain crashes through the negotiation door with an offer that throws the entire Catalan project into chaos. Rashford's rebirth in La Liga has been one of the most unexpected transformations of the season. 6 months ago, most pundits were already writing his football obituary after a miserable fallout with Ruben Amorim, an uninspired loan spell at Aston Villa, and a general sense that his best days were buried somewhere in the past. Then Barcelona grabbed him on loan for what looked like spare change, and suddenly this was no longer the Marcus Rashford who drifted through matches at Old Trafford. This was a forward reborn under Hansi Flick, a relentless weapon who stitched together an injury-riddled Barcelona attack with goals, assists, and a spark that had been missing for years. Rashford didn't just fit into Barcelona's system, he lifted it out of despair. And now, right as Barcelona prepares to lock him down for a bargain fee, PSG storms in waving €50 million like a sledgehammer. For a financially strangled Barcelona, it is a brutal ultimatum. They can barely afford the original €35 million option, never mind competing with the limitless well of Parisian money. Rashford is falling in love with Barcelona and the city is falling in love with him. But love rarely survives a financial hurricane. PSG are betting that a massive salary, a free role under Luis Enrique, and life in a team free from financial constraints will be enough to pull him away. Barcelona are clinging to a dream they may not have the means to fulfill. While Rashford's saga fires up one side of Europe, another storm is rising in Madrid where Vinicius Jr., once the untouchable prince of Real Madrid's future, is quietly slipping toward the exit door. Behind the glittering facade of the Bernabeu, the relationship between Vinicius and Xabi Alonso has steadily deteriorated. Add to that dressing room tensions with senior figures who no longer see him as Madrid's crown jewel, and suddenly the Brazilian is feeling marginalized in the only place he ever truly wanted to rule. Manchester United has sensed the vulnerability and is already whispering through intermediaries, offering a fresh start and a chance to become the headline attraction instead of being overshadowed by the impending arrival of Kylian Mbappe. United have not always been the smartest operators in the market, but this time they are playing the long game, positioning themselves for the slightest crack in Madrid's armor. If Vinicius continues to feel pushed aside or minimized, there is a world where he could actually force a move. Real Madrid can bind a player with contracts and wages, but they cannot manufacture a sense of belonging once it begins to fade, and every signal suggests Vinicius is drifting further away from the warmth he once felt in the Spanish capital. Bernardo Silva, meanwhile, has stopped hinting and has instead declared through his actions that his Manchester City chapter is coming to its end. After years of being Guardiola's Swiss Army knife, the player who could slide into any gap and elevate the entire structure, he has decided the time is right to write his final lines in sky blue. The moment that news surfaced, Italy's giants went into frenzy. Juventus and Milan instantly dived into negotiations, pressing his representatives for salary expectations, contract duration, and the vision he wants for his next adventure. Saudi Arabia tried to lure him with mountains of money, but he brushed aside those advances with ease. At 31, he wants football, not a retirement package. He wants tactical depth, cultural fire, and a league that still feels alive with real ambition. Serie A is calling to him in a way that money cannot replicate. No matter where Bernardo goes, he will transform the team that signs him. City will feel his absence the moment he walks out the door, and yet his departure opens a new chapter in the club's long-term succession plan, one that increasingly revolves around a familiar legend. Vincent Kompany's managerial rise has been meteoric, evolving from Burnley's promotion push to Bayern Munich's domination of the Bundesliga. His style mirrors Guardiola's philosophy without becoming a carbon copy. He plays positional football with aggression, builds systems that stretch and suffocate opponents, and demands a level of intelligence that transforms ordinary squads into finely tuned machines. Inside Manchester City, the sentiment is no longer subtle. When Pep Guardiola eventually walks away, Kompany is the heir chosen not by accident, not by circumstance, but by destiny. Bayern may have tied him down until 2029, but contracts have never stopped a determined Manchester City from reclaiming their own. While Kompany carves out victories in Germany and Bernardo prepares for his next chapter, Manchester United is quietly assembling its future as well. Their pursuit of Atlanta's Ederson is more than a tactical upgrade. It is an attempt to completely rewrite the DNA of their midfield. In the summer, the deal collapsed at the last second, but now United are returning with fire in their eyes and leverage on their side. Atlanta are willing to drop their valuation from nearly 80 million to a far more accessible range, and at 40 million Ederson becomes one of the greatest bargains of the coming window. He offers everything United has lacked in their midfield for years: power, stamina, intelligence, and the ability to transition from defense to attack without losing control. Amorim sees him as the missing pillar in the foundation he plans to build. A midfielder capable of beating the Premier League into submission while giving United's attack the freedom it desperately needs. If Rashford leaves, if Vinicius arrives, or if United instead build around new identities, Ederson is the anchor that ties it all together. And hanging above all these dramatic threads is the looming shadow of Pep Guardiola's inevitable departure. Whether he stays until 2027 or decides to walk earlier, Manchester City cannot afford a moment of panic or instability. They need continuity, identity, and someone capable of carrying the torch he lit years ago. Kompany represents exactly that. He is not just a former captain, he is the embodiment of City's winning mentality. His return would be a moment that shakes the Premier League to its core, a symbolic homecoming that signals a new dynasty rising on the horizon. Football is entering a crossroads where transfers, managers, and changing loyalties collide to shape the sport's future. Some players are chasing rebirth, others are hunting greatness, and clubs are preparing for transformations that will define the next decade of European football. The stakes have never been higher, and the coming months will deliver some of the most dramatic decisions we have seen in years. If you've made it this far, tell me what you think. Should Rashford stay in Barcelona or cash in with PSG? Will Vinicius finally walk away from Real Madrid? And is Kompany truly the man to follow Guardiola at Manchester City? Drop your thoughts below, hit that like button, and subscribe so you never miss the next wild chapter of this transfer saga. The drama is only getting started.